Hey guys, and welcome to another Stupid as a Child. Now before I start, let me just say, I'm sorry that my apartment looks so atrocious. I am not responsible. But anyway, let's move on. So as some of you guys know, a popular topic has been going around recently, and that is, of course, Super Smash Bros. Now why am I bringing that up? I brought it up multiple times before. Am I going to make a legitimate video about, like, what I'd like to see, how I think of Super Smash Bros.? No, I'm just going to talk about one specific game from my past. Let me give you a little bit of history. The first time I played a Super Smash Bros. Game was when I lived in the state of Maryland, and me and my friend went into his house to play the original Super Smash Bros. On his N64. And the only characters I knew at the time, because I was like, 4 or 5 at the time, was Mario, Pikachu, Jigglypuff, and maybe Luigi? Maybe? I don't even know. And you know what? Besides that and Pokemon Stadium, that's the one thing that I would play with him the most. And then later on, in 2008, at the age of 12 years old, a whole whopping 7 years ago, I got Super Smash Bros. Brawl for my Wii, not even remembering what a Super Smash Bros. Was. And once again, because I was 12, the only characters I recognized were Mario, Pikachu, and the Pokemon Trainer from the cover of the game. I first saw it while going to Blockbuster, renting a game. Yes, Blockbuster, you know that magical thing that Netflix and Redbox basically just brutally murdered? Shit. Yeah, that. Anyway, so I rented Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and eventually I owned it because I just loved it. And you know, I played a lot of things, the adventure mode, like some Space Emissary, classic mode, and some online and offline matches, and then I realized there was a game that came before. And that was Super Smash Bros. Melee. A few months after I got Brawl, I first got the game Super Smash Bros. Melee for the first time, and put it in my Wii, and let me just explain something. This is going to sound ridiculous. But, as you all know, Super Smash Bros. Melee is more of a competitive game. It wasn't really intended to be so competitive that like newcomers would feel isolated, but that's how I ended up, and Sakurai was disappointed with that. So with Super Smash Bros. Brawl, they wanted to make it more casual. So, they made it a little too casual. But like so casual that like a 12-year-old gothic Slender Man could easily get his hands on and be like, sometimes I demolished Super Smash Bros. Brawl because it was that easy for me. Because I was 12 and I had some experience of video games, but Smash Bros. Brawls what really got me introduced into video games. And then like later on I saw Super Smash Bros. Melee. I thought they were the same type of game. I mean, they are the same type of game, but just on difficulty. Like, Melee's more competitive, Brawl's more casual. I had no idea what the fuck those two terms even meant in the gaming realm. Or even what competitive players did, or what the fuck a wave dash was. So when I first played Super Smash Bros. Melee, I went to the adventure mode and realized at the same difficulty, it was much harder. There were no final smashes. That's something I didn't know either. That's going to sound stupid to say. I didn't know there were no final smashes in Melee because Brawl was the first game I played. Anywho, I played Super Smash Bros. Melee's adventure mode in the same difficulty I would with Brawl and like any other mode, and realized I sucked. I slowly started to think that like I got worse and worse in Smash Bros. As I progressed, and eventually I cried. Yup, Super Smash Bros. Melee made my 12-year-old self cry. Now repeat, 12. I'm 19 right now. What the fuck would I cry at a video game? Yeah. 7 years ago, I cried because of Super Smash Bros. Melee. Now, what do I think about it now? Well, honestly, I'm more of a competitive player. Not to the point where it's just like, oh, you casual scum. Because I like to play for fun, and I never go to tournaments or anything. But I do practice a lot of competitive stuff, or just play for glory a lot. Because I honestly don't know. I guess it just came to me one day. But anyway, and Super Smash Bros. Melee became one of my favorite Smash games out there. Because of that whole thing about the whole competitive thing I was getting introduced to because of For Glory and Smash Wii U being both casual and competitive friendly. However, that doesn't change the fact that my 12-year-old self hated Melee to its core. So basically it was just like when I got into the adventure mode and got to the point where I had to fight both Mario and Peach, I was just like, go fuck yourself, Mario! But then again, I was my 12-year-old self, and I didn't like to swear, so it was just like, hey, Mario, you're such a meanie. Oh, God, Mario, you're such a meanie poopy head. Mario is so mean to me. That was something you couldn't, that was something that you wouldn't expect a 12-year-old to say about Mario. So I began to hate Super Smash Bros. Melee, and I began to make like big assumptions that like CPUs, all they want to do is repeat their 3-hit combos. Like, you've been to Peach's Castle, and you go to the corner of one of the stages, this part, or the other side, whichever, and a CPU would get in front of you, and it would seem like they would never finish their 3-hit combo. Mario would do his punch, kick, and do his first 2 punches, and not do the kick. And then repeat those 2. And I'm thinking, block. Well, as soon as you start to block, CPUs would know how to grab. So, yep. And my 12-year-old self didn't even know how to block. Once again, I was 12, and I was just getting really introduced into video games because of Smash Brothers. So, why do I keep repeating that? Because I don't want people to forget that I mentioned I was 12. This was 7 years ago. So, yep, Super Smash Bros. Melee made me cry. So what do I think about that now? I was some kind of pussy back then, crying about a video game. But then again, I was 12. I wasn't even a teenager. Now I play Super Smash Bros. Wii U a lot, and Melee a few times. Next to the games I play on my PlayStation 4, like Grand Theft Auto 5, I have my own apartment, getting my own job soon. I'm able to pay my own bills and do all this crazy shit. That's the whole reason I made stupid as a kid. To make people realize I was stupid as a kid. And don't get me wrong, I'm still a goddamn idiot now that can't comprehend politics. But then again, who can? So anyway, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, maybe favorite, and subscribe when we see some more. I make videos almost every day. And remember, we all see fish in the ceiling at least once in our lives.